What if I told you that everything you've learned about love and happiness so far could be completely wrong? That the beliefs we've carried for decades could be preventing us from living fulfilling relationships and a truly satisfying life? Look, I know that after the age of 60, many people think they know everything about love and relationships. After all, we've lived so much. We've been through so many experiences. But the truth is that our generation grew up with some ideas about love that simply don't work. Ideas that made us suffer unnecessarily, that made us accept mediocre relationships, or that made us give up on happiness before our time. Today, I'm going to reveal 8 profound lies that have shaped our view of love and happiness. Lies that have been passed down from generation to generation as if they were absolute truths. And most importantly, I'm going to show you the truths behind each one of them. If you don't uncover these lies now, you may continue to live a limited life, missing out on opportunities to be truly happy in your relationships. You may continue to repeat patterns that no longer serve you. But if you stick with me until the end, you will discover how to free yourself from these limiting beliefs and finally experience the love and happiness you've always deserved. Get ready, because some of these truths will surprise you deeply. Tip 1. True love doesn't require effort. The first big lie we learn is that if a relationship takes work, then it's not true love. We grow up hearing that when it's the right love, everything flows naturally, without conflict, without arguments, without effort. That if you have to work hard to make it work, then they're not the right person for you. This belief is extremely dangerous because it makes us give up on valuable relationships at the first sign of difficulty. How many marriages have ended because one of the partners thought, if this were true love, it wouldn't be so hard? How many people have missed opportunities to build something beautiful because they believed that love should always be easy? The truth is completely different. True love does require a lot of effort, dedication, and constant work. 2 different human beings with different stories and personalities will not fit together perfectly without some adjustment. It's like a dance. At first you step on each other's toes, stumble and lose your bearings, but with practice, patience, and dedication, you learn to dance together harmoniously. The happiest, most lasting relationships are those where both partners commit to working together every day, where they choose to make an effort to understand each other, to resolve conflicts in a healthy way, to grow together. Putting effort into a relationship isn't a sign that something is wrong. It's a sign that you care enough about each other to make it work. When you accept that relationships require work, you stop running away at the first sign of trouble and start investing in building something solid. You develop communication skills, learn to resolve conflicts, and create a strong foundation for lasting love. The result is a relationship that is much deeper and more satisfying than any superficial, effortless infatuation. Tip 2. You need to be complete to love. The second devastating lie is the idea that you need to be completely resolved, without problems, without wounds from the past, in order to love someone or be loved. That you need to first find yourself, completely heal, be okay with yourself in order to be in a relationship with another person. This belief keeps millions of people alone, waiting for a magical day when they will be perfect for relationships. People who isolate themselves, who reject opportunities for love because they believe they are not ready yet, who spend years and years working on themselves, but never feel complete enough to open themselves up to love. The reality is that no human being is ever completely healed or resolved. We all have wounds, insecurities, fears, and areas for growth. If we waited to be perfect before we could have relationships, all of humanity would be alone. Love doesn't happen between perfect people. It happens between real people with flaws in the process of growing. In fact, it is in relationships that many of our greatest healings occur. It is through the mirror that the other person offers us that we discover aspects of ourselves that need attention. It is in the challenge of living with another person that we develop patience, understanding, and generosity. Relationships can be one of the greatest catalysts for our personal growth. Of course, it is important to have a minimum of emotional stability and self-knowledge. But that does not mean being perfect. It means being willing to grow, to take responsibility for your standards, to work on yourself while building something with another person. It means being open to learning and evolving together with your partner. When you let go of the pursuit of personal perfection as a prerequisite for love, you allow yourself much richer, more authentic relationship experiences. You stop waiting to be ready and start growing through the experience of loving and being loved. Tip 3. Jealousy is proof of love. The third lie that has destroyed countless relationships is the belief that jealousy is synonymous with love. That if your partner doesn't feel jealous, it's because they don't really love you. That a little bit of jealousy is normal, even romantic. We grew up watching movies and soap operas where jealousy was presented as proof of passion, that the person cares about you. This lie is particularly dangerous because it normalizes possessive and controlling behaviors. It causes people to confuse jealousy with caring, control with protection. It leads many people to accept abusive behavior because they believe it is too much love. And it causes others to purposefully provoke jealousy to test whether they are loved. The truth is that jealousy has absolutely nothing to do with love. Jealousy is fear, insecurity, and the need for control. It is the manifestation of our own wounds and traumas, not our love for the other person. A person can love deeply without feeling the need to control or possess the other person. In fact, true love includes respect, trust, and freedom. Excessive jealousy destroys relationships because it creates an environment of distrust, tension, and control. The person who suffers from jealousy lives in constant anxiety, always suspecting, always checking, always limiting the partner's freedom. And the person who is the target of jealousy feels suffocated, watched, and disrespected. Healthy relationships are built on mutual trust. This does not mean naivety or lack of care, but rather the conscious choice to trust your partner until they prove you otherwise. It means giving the other person the freedom to be themselves, to have their own friends, interests, and personal life. When you understand that jealousy is not love, you stop feeding this destructive emotion and start working on the insecurities that lie behind it. You develop self-esteem, confidence, and the ability to love in a more mature and liberating way. Hey, before I continue, I need to ask you something very important. If this video is helping you see these truths about love and happiness, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any content. And tell me here in the comments where you're watching from. I want to know if these lies were also part of your life. Your participation motivates me to continue bringing content that really makes a difference in your journey. Tip 4. Marriage is the ultimate goal of love. The fourth lie that has shaped entire generations is the idea that marriage is the ultimate goal of any romantic relationship. That if you don't get married, the relationship is unsuccessful. That every single person is incomplete, failed, or flawed. Our society has created enormous pressure for everyone to get married, as if it were the only valid way to experience love. This belief has caused immense suffering. People who married not for love, but because of social pressure. People who stayed in unhappy marriages because they believed divorce was failure. Single people who felt inadequate, incomplete, as if something was wrong with them. And people who forced relationships into marriage even when it wasn't what they really wanted. The truth is that there are many valid ways to experience love and happiness. Some people are happier when they are married, others prefer long-term relationships without marriage, and others choose to be single for periods or permanently. There is no one-size-fits-all model. Each person has their own needs, values, and ways of being happy. What matters is not your marital status, but the quality of the relationships you cultivate. A single person who has deep friendships, who loves themselves, and who has a rich and meaningful life can be much happier than someone trapped in an unhappy marriage just to keep up appearances. A relationship without marriage can be more solid and loving than many formal marriages. Marriage can be a beautiful choice when it is made out of love, out of a genuine desire to build a life together, out of shared values. But when it is made out of pressure, Out of fear of being alone, out of social convention, it can become a prison. And divorce, when necessary, can be an act of courage and self-love, not of failure. Happiness doesn't come from a signed piece of paper or a ceremony. It comes from the quality of the relationships you cultivate, the love you give and receive, and the life you build according to your own values and needs. When you free yourself from the obligation to follow a predetermined script, you can create a love life that truly makes sense to you. Tip 5. Romantic love is superior to other types of love. The fifth lie deeply embedded in our culture is that romantic love is the most important and valuable form of love, that without a romantic partner, you cannot be truly happy or complete, that friendships, family love, self-love are important but secondary to the great romantic love we should all seek. This hierarchy of love causes a lot of unnecessary suffering. People who neglect important friendships to focus solely on their romantic relationship. People who feel empty and unhappy when they are single, even though they have a rich network of other relationships. People who put all the pressure of happiness on their romantic partner, creating impossible expectations. The reality is that there are many types of love that are equally valuable and nourishing. The love of a true friendship can be as profound and transformative as any passion. Family love, even with its complications, provides a foundation of belonging and history. Self-love is the foundation that enables all other loves. Each type of love offers something unique and precious. Many people discover in adulthood that their friendships are their most stable and satisfying relationships. Friends who have been there for decades, who know their story, who offer unconditional support. These relationships often last longer than many marriages and offer a deep and consistent quality of companionship. When you recognize the value of all types of love, your life becomes much richer and more balanced. You stop putting all the pressure on your romantic relationship to make you happy. You cultivate a diverse network of relationships, each offering something special. And if you're single, you don't feel incomplete because you recognize all the love that already exists in your life. This broader view of love also makes your romantic relationships healthier. When you don't depend exclusively on your partner for your happiness, you relate more freely without excessive demands, allowing love to flow naturally. Tip 6. Passion always diminishes with time. The sixth lie that is accepted as inevitable is that passion and intensity in a relationship always diminish over time. That it is normal and expected for couples who have been together for years to lose interest in each other, for their sex life to cool off, for the relationship to become just companionship and routine. Many people resign themselves to this idea, as if it were a law of nature. This belief is extremely harmful because it makes people give up on nurturing passion in their relationship. They stop making an effort to keep the romance alive. They stop investing in mutual seduction. They stop creating novelty and surprises. They accept that monotony is inevitable and they stop fighting for a vibrant love life. The truth is that passion can be maintained and even intensified over the years. But this requires intention, creativity, and effort from both parties. Couples who keep the flame alive are those who continue to court each other, who create new experiences together, who maintain their individuality and personal growth, who invest in physical and emotional intimacy. Mature infatuation is different from early infatuation, but it can be even deeper and more satisfying. It includes not only physical attraction, but also mutual admiration, the complicity built over the years, the intimacy of those who really know each other. It is a passion informed by experience, tempered by the conscious choice to continue falling in love with the same person. Keeping your passion alive requires breaking the routine regularly, planning special dates, traveling together, trying new things, having interesting conversations, taking care of your appearance for each other, expressing admiration and gratitude. It also requires keeping your own life interesting, your own growth and discoveries to share. When you reject the idea that passion inevitably dies, you become active in creating a vibrant, exciting relationship. You understand that the responsibility for keeping love alive lies with both of you, and that it is possible at any age and at any stage of the relationship. Tip 7. Happiness is a permanent state. The seventh devastating lie is the belief that happiness should be a permanent state, and that if you are not happy all the time, something is wrong with you or your life. Our culture sells the idea that truly fulfilled people are always happy, always positive, always satisfied. This creates enormous pressure and a sense of failure when we go through difficult times. This lie is particularly cruel because it makes us feel guilty about our natural emotions. When we are sad, anxious, frustrated, or angry, we think we should just get over it and be happy again. We deny and suppress important emotions, miss opportunities for learning and growth, and create a superficial life based on denying reality. The truth is that happiness is not a permanent state, but rather precious moments interspersed throughout the range of human experience. Life includes joy and sadness, success and failure, love and loss, hope and disappointment. All of these experiences are valid and necessary for a full and authentic life. True happiness is not the absence of problems or difficult emotions. It is the ability to experience the full range of human emotions with acceptance and wisdom. It is finding meaning and purpose even in difficult times. It is developing resilience, gratitude, and the ability to learn from every experience. When you stop chasing constant happiness and start accepting the cyclical nature of emotional life, you become much more balanced and genuine. You stop pretending to be okay when you're not. You stop comparing yourself to unrealistic images of perfect happiness. You stop beating yourself up or being human. This acceptance, paradoxically, leads you to moments of much more authentic and profound happiness. When you are not fighting against reality, when you accept that life has its ups and downs, you can enjoy the good moments more intensely and get through the difficult moments with more serenity and wisdom. Tip 8. You can change someone else. The eighth and final lie that needs to be debunked is the belief that you can change another person through your love, patience, or strategy. That if you love someone enough, if you are patient enough, if you use the right techniques, you will be able to change their behavior, personality, or addictions. How many relationships have been built on this illusion? This lie keeps people trapped in destructive relationships for years, even decades. Women trying to change alcoholic husbands, men trying to change controlling wives, people trying to transform emotionally unavailable partners into loving companions. They waste endless energy, sacrifice their own happiness, create expectations that never come true. The harsh but liberating truth is that you can't change anyone. People only change when they decide to change, when they recognize that they need to change, and when they actively commit to that transformation. Your love, no matter how intense, doesn't have the power to change another person against their will. Trying to change someone is disrespectful and futile. It is disrespectful because it denies the other person's autonomy, suggesting that they are not acceptable as they are. And it is futile because it creates a dynamic of resistance and conflict, where the person feels pressured and judged, which actually makes change less likely. What you can do is set clear boundaries about what you will and won't accept in a relationship. You can communicate your needs and expectations. You can choose to stay or leave based on who the person really is, not who you hope they will become. And you can work on your own change and growth. When you let go of the impossible mission of changing others, you free up enormous energy to work on yourself and make more conscious choices about your relationships. You stop relating to people's potential and start relating to their reality. This leads to much more honest and satisfying relationships. Well, we've reached the end of this journey of discovering the lies that have shaped our vision of love and happiness. I hope these truths have touched your heart and opened your mind to new possibilities. Each of these lies that we've deconstructed today may have been responsible for limiting your happiness, creating unsatisfying relationships, or preventing you from experiencing the full love that you deserve. Remember, True love requires effort and dedication. You don't have to be perfect to love and be loved. Jealousy is not proof of love, but of insecurity. There is no one right way to experience love. All types of love are valuable. Passion can be kept alive at any age. Happiness is not a permanent state, but precious moments of a full life, and you can only change yourself, never others. Now that you know these truths, you have a choice to make. You can continue to live by the same old lies that limit your happiness and relationships. Or you can start applying these discoveries to your life today. You can question your beliefs, change your patterns, create more authentic relationships, and build a love life that truly means something to you. The question I leave you with is this: which of these lies has had the greatest impact on your life? Which truths do you most need to embrace to transform your relationships? Share your reflection in the comments, because your experience can inspire and help others who are on the same journey of discovery.